of ageing, President Biden, in the same sentence, has been forced to deny that he's got memory problems after an investigation found that he mishandled top-secret files and struggled to recall key life events. And you might have seen them in a number of appearances this week. The president has appeared to struggle with his speech. Here's a little clip.
Right after I was elected, I went to what they call a G7 meeting, all the NATO leaders. It was in the south of England. And I sat down and I said, America's back. And Mitterrand from France looked at me and said, you know, how long are you back for? And I looked at him, and the Chancellor of Germany said, what would you say, Mr. President?
Well, you can kind of hear the audience there, slightly that nervous giggle. I mean, he did correct himself in France and Germany, but Mitterrand died in 1996, so he meant Macron, obviously. Did that make you feel uncomfortable watching that, Nadia?
It really does, you know, and yesterday he was talking about the Egyptian president and he gave the name of the Mexican president. And that, with the way the world is at the moment and the fragility around the world, obviously he's not sitting there making decisions on his own. Of course, there's a huge team behind him. But my immediate human response to that is fear. Because he's in charge of so much. You, years ago, you won't remember this, did say on a loose rim, and years ago, you said whenever there's a vote for an American president, the whole world should get to vote because it affects us all. Yeah. And I look at it and I think, my God, you know, you go to America, you meet all these brilliant people and it's like Trump or Biden, and it just makes me feel nervous about the whole world, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I also worry, I have to say, is that is the line, that he is too old and he's too doddering and he's losing his memory, and that is what we're getting fed. It is an election year, and there are people who want us to think that. But I agree with you, it does kind of look concerning. But, I mean, we all lose our memory, don't we? We all talk about... You talk about having memory problems all the time. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're not capable. You're too young to worry about your memory, I suppose, are you?
What's your name? No, I think... Yeah, I mean, we can all be... There is a grace period, isn't there? You know, sometimes you will mess up and say the wrong word or the same name or whatever, and I'm sure he has a lot to remember. But I do think, like you say, he's probably not the sole person making the decisions or pressing the buttons or whatever. There is a whole team there. But I do feel like you want the face of a country. You want to feel like they're strong and that they're able. And I think it makes you feel a bit on edge when you feel like maybe they're not up to the job. But like you say, what's the alternative? Trump. Like, I mean, it's like the lesser of the two evils, really.
Yeah, well, we're not going to get to choose, are we?
If you had your way, Kay.
What?
So if you had your way, we would. What? That the whole world votes.
Well, actually, the way the world is at the moment, I'm not sure that was a good idea, so I take that back.
I just think, though, how can he carry on going he must be about 81, and I'm not saying that, you know, when you reach your 80s that you should go, right, that's it, I'm not going to be working anymore or whatever, but I just think if I was 81 to have such a huge job and so much pressure and power, I'd want to be sitting down doing a jigsaw with a glass of sherry and a dog on my lap. Why?
You've already told us that that's what you like to do anyway, regardless of what kind of age you are,
I'm quite happy for the next 40 years to be doing that on repeat.
What's your memory like?
Oh, my gosh. Well, my memory has always been fantastic. I've always been sharp.
Actress.
You know, yeah, you're an actress. You've got to, like, pick up lines, you know, really easily. But for about the past 8 months, I feel like I've slowly been failing. My memory has been going. I'm not as sharp. I don't have the confidence. Lots of anxiety about doing things, remembering things.
So you're not going to run for the White House?
So I took it upon myself and I thought, no, I will not do that job. No, so I knew something was up, and I've been feeling quite depressed and quite miserable as well. And then over Christmas, apparently, I didn't remember saying this, but Eva, my daughter, told me that I said, I really want to look after the coffee table. And she said, you know what you've just said, Mummy? And I said, no, I don't remember saying that. And she said, this is what you've just said. And my first thought was, who do I actually want to look after? Who do I think resembles the coffee table? I mean, what's going on? But then, so recently, I went to see a menopause doctor. And because I thought something's going on with me, I don't feel right.
Because we met in the makeup room, didn't we? You were telling me all of this. I went, I seen the menopause doctor.
Yeah, and I vented to her, and then she said, right, and started talking about the menopause and everything. Went to see a doctor, went in, talked for about an hour and a half, and then she said, well, it's quite clear from your age and all of your symptoms that you're perimenopausal. And so I decided, after weighing everything up and chatting about it, to start HRT. And I've been on it now for about 3 weeks, and I'm a new woman.
Your husband's noted the difference, hasn't he?
I tell you what, right, what he has noticed is that, you know, really simple things, because I was being very nasty as well. Very grumpy, very angry, like a searing anger. And like the other night, James, my husband, I just said, oh, I love you, and put my arms around him, and he was like, oh, my gosh, that's really lovely, as if it was like something huge, so that tells you how grumpy I've been. Wow. And then I thought, hey, this is quite good, just being a bit affectionate. He's really quite liking this. I might be able to get something out of this. But no, my memory's coming back. I'm a lot sharper. I just feel a bit like I've sort of stepped up, and I just feel a bit more together.
There is something about your memory, though, isn't it? Because actually, my memory is pretty good, so I don't worry about it, but you worry about it a lot. And once you start to get into a little phase of, I forgot this, I forgot that, I can see you disassembling.
Yeah.
Because it really rattles you.
And floods your brain. And actually, more and more I notice we just remember different things, don't we? Like, I will tell you in detail a story that you've told me 100 years ago, and you go, did I? Was I?
Yeah.
Was I there too? And it was like, yeah. But then you'll remember a completely different set of things. And I think we do, because life is so much busier than it ever was, we're all making choices on what we choose to put in that memory bank.
Yeah. I'm laughing at Frankie. She's sitting there going, old bags.
Yeah. I'm actually thinking, God, I'm 35, I forget everything.
Yeah, well, I've still got 2 young children.
And I mean, obviously, you went through it with, you know, you spoke to a doctor and everything, but you've got 4 kids.
Well,
you've got a busy life. You've
yeah.
got the kids and a busy household and stuff. You know, there's a lot going on.
Forget
and stress and anxiety makes you forget
Yeah,
stuff.
I've got that, yeah.
You're forgiven.
Yeah.
Loose Women, ITV. Okay, every
Your name is Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Scrolling.
much.
We're all scrolling too much. That's what affects me.
Yeah. Well, listen.